morning.
Good morning.
Thank you all for joining.
Glad
Thank
to
you.
be here.
Okay, Jeff. That's Jeff Sims. Good morning, Jeff.
Good morning.
Okay, and that's Larry Curling. I'm gonna let y'all go. Y'all had this planned out, and so I'm just gonna let you talk to me about what is going on at the fiscal court.
Sure will. First, I just want to thank the radio station. This radio station has been a staple of our community for decades. You know, growing up, I remember listening to people like Briggs Gordon, Roger Camel, Al Tompkins, and of course Twyman Bourne. No telling how many football games Twyman has called. So again, thank this radio station for being a community supporter. I just want to explain what the fiscal court is. The fiscal court is just simply the governing body of the county. Now in Kentucky, we're made up of what's called a judge executive and commissioners or magistrates. We have magistrates, okay? Now don't let the word judge and court throw you off. We have no judicial powers. Back in 1975, that changed. Used to, the judge had executive powers or judicial powers, but he does not anymore. So in Caldwell County, we are made up of a judge executive and 4 magistrates. In District 1, we have Albert Bennett. He's starting his 17th year. In District 2, we have Jeff Boone. He's starting his 1st year. In District 4, we have Jeff Sims. He's starting his 4th year. And also in District 3, we have Brent Stallings. He's starting his 5th year. I am starting my 5th year. I was a magistrate last year in District 2. So that's simply what the fiscal court is. It's just a governing body of the county.
Okay, so how do your roles differ? Larry, why don't you start? What is your role in relation to theirs?
Well,
Magistrates.
I'm just kind of what you call the CEO of the county. Now, the things they're going to be dealing with most is roads. You know, as a magistrate, 90%.
I'm sorry, did you say roads?
Roads, yes.
Okay.
As magistrate, 90% of the calls I got were roads. And let me explain the difference between our roads. In the county, we have 3 different types of roads. We have the state roads, the county roads, and the city roads. And the best way to tell, if your road has a yellow line on it, it belongs to the state. For example, look out front here. That road has a yellow line, so it belongs to the state. Now, if you live inside the city and your road does not have paint on it, it belongs to the city. Now, if you live outside the city limits and your road does not have paint on it, it belongs to the county. So that's how you deal with roads. If you call somebody, you know who you're calling.
So I did not know that. I did not know that paint means it's a state road.
Paint
no
means
paint
a
means
state
it's
road.
city road.
Or county.
Or county. Okay. So I just learned something there. We had Lynn Williams in yesterday. I don't know if you listened to the interview, and I learned from him that, you know, it is the job of the recycling center to clean up the dump sites. And so I'm assuming that relates to, since you all are in charge of roads, I just found that out.
Right.
that goes into, I'm assuming you work in conjunction with him in keeping those dump sites cleaned up.
Yeah, you know, that dump site had been one that was reported to me, and Lynn had a fella, Mr. Freeman, that helps him, had been out last week. So, you know, in the spirit of what we're trying to bring to the fiscal court, my brother and I were out driving roads, just riding around, and decided to help those guys out and reclamate that site. You know, and that's kind of what we're trying to bring to the court and to the county, is a sense of pride and letting people know, you know, I was always raised by example. So I think it's vastly important, you know, not to just place that burden on somebody, because, you know, the county staff is relatively small for the amount of things we cover and the size of county that we have. So if you can pitch in and you're right there and you can help out picking up some tires, and I, you know, challenge all the citizens of the district. We'd be glad to have your help picking up trash or picking up anything, and we've got some that do an amazing job at that. One that stands out in my district that I know right off the top of my head is Duke Pettit. You can see him out walking 293 very regularly picking up trash, and Lynn does a great job for the county. But I want him to know, as well as anyone else, that we're willing to chip in and help where we can, because it's a big order, a tall task.
Yeah, he explained that they only have 2 of them out there that are responsible for that, and then I guess he has a team that goes out. I don't know. I'm not sure if he's told me how often to help clean up the.
And I will say that recycling has really taken off the last 2 or 3 years. You go out there, you're constantly going to see people coming in, and they get out and unload it for you if they're not busy. That's pretty handy, but it has really taken off. And I do want to mention the hours. We are open. It's out on Egan Street. I'm sure most people in the county knows where that is, but we are open Monday through Friday, 7 to 3:30, and we're also open on Saturday from 8 to 2, and that makes it more convenient for our citizens. We also have recycling trailers located out in the county. We have one at the old Tressler's building. We have one at Farmersville at the Cat's Den, and we also have one in Fredonia, and we're looking to put a couple more out in places if we can find them.
Okay. And Albert Bennett, correct, District 1. You have different districts. So then does that mean that you are responsible for different road areas? I mean, how does this work?
I've had people to call from all over the county. Maybe they couldn't get in touch with their magistrate.
Okay.
And they would tell me their problem, and in return, I would either call the county judge or the road supervisor or the magistrate in that district. But I'm welcome any calls from all over the county if there's a problem, and I've always felt that way, and I will continue to, as long as I'm a magistrate.
And what kind of calls do you get?
About a number of things. Maybe holes that fell in, tiles that maybe had washed out, or different things such as that. And I do want to thank Wendell for taking care of jumping right onto those issues. We've had a lot of rain here the last. It seemed like the last year or two, and we've had a lot of problems. But those are mostly the calls that I get.
I will say, as a magistrate, 90% of the calls I got were potholes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So now I just put this together. I'm sure y'all saw that light come on there. You explained to me before we started that magistrates and commissioners are terms, interchangeable terms.
Right.
And I'm familiar with commissioners, county road commissioners. Mm-hmm. So that term just sunk in. So you are like the county road commissioners, with which I am familiar. So now I understand what you do.
They're the same thing, just different terminology.
Exactly.
I would like to say this. My job, I didn't learn this overnight. I'm starting in my 5th term, and I've served as president of the Kentucky Magistrates and Commissioners Association, and now I'm serving as president of the Kentucky Association of Counties. My job, I feel like, is a dual-purpose job. I'm not only representing our county, and it's more than just driving county roads. I'm a lobbyist for our state senator, state representative. I've just got back from Washington, D.C. on Friday after a week in Washington and at the National Association of Counties. I spent yesterday in Frankfurt conducting a legislative committee meeting, which I'm chairman of that, of a number of bills that have come up before us that pertains to county government. And we either strongly oppose, strongly support, or we just leave them under review. But I feel like my job has been a dual-purpose job in the last a few years, and I'm looking forward to working with our legislators, and I will continue to do so, because as they always have said, the county magistrate, the county judge is where the rubber meets the road. And I have held them to that. Said, hey, you tell us that we need funds to take care of these county roads like you've promised us, and so that's what I'm pushing for, because we're always there's 120 counties. We're all pushing for the same thing, and to get more funds for our county. And
I will say our roads funds have decreased over the years because of tax prices. When the tax was when the gas prices were way up there, where we get more tax money from the roads, they charge a percentage on your gas. Now they did fix that, where it couldn't go down as too far, so we'd still get a small amount, but not as much as we used to. You look at all the county, city, and state roads, a lot of them are getting in pretty bad shape. The question I've always asked them, we're going to get the issue of 641 coming up. That's going to be really, it's not a benefit for Caldwell County whatsoever, but I've always asked them the question, if you don't have the money to take care of the roads we have now, why build another road? They never could answer that.
What kind of answer did you get?
Didn't get any.
None at all. So we just changed the
Usually they say it's in the budget. Well, you can reappropriate your budget. There are such a thing as transfers,
Okay. Now, Jeff, you said, I heard Larry say this is your 5th year?
No, it's my first year.
Okay, so that's what I thought.
Misspoke.
I thought it was, and when he said that, I was like, oh, well, I guess I had my information
He gets
incorrect.
excited.
So I did think that. So talk to me about, this is your first year. So what are when you went into this job, what were your goals, ambitions, thoughts? Talk to me about what you had in mind.
Well, a little bit different slant than these guys have in the fact that, I'm the only one serving on the fiscal court right now, even though they have grandchildren. I'm the only one with a 4-year-old. So, and just looking around, much like Larry had alluded to and Albert has worked toward, is just kind of a change of having a different perspective, having the perspective of how we can grow the community, the reinstilling the pride in Princeton and Caldwell County that I remember growing up. I want my daughter to have that same opportunity at 4, along with all the other young people. I think the burden of governing falls on the people that have a passion for it, and also people that have the skill sets necessary to accomplish the job. So it's very easy to become educated and experienced in your industries and turn a blind eye to service of your community. And that's just something that it had called to me for a long time, and I'm blessed by the Lord and that He lays that kind of stuff on my heart. And so I made that determination that I wanted to participate more fully in governance. But bringing things like technology and transparency to the fiscal court and to the county. Wanted to also announce that with Larry's help, we got our Facebook page up yesterday. So it's Caldwell County government information.
I will say though, there's very little help from Larry. He's our he's our technology man. It has a tendency, the older you are, the less you know about technology. And also, if you would hit up on the web page, you and Dakota.
Yeah. So Dakota, myself, and her name, Amanda Davenport. Yeah. Sorry, Amanda, just left me. She's the economic development person for the Lake Barkley Partnership.
Right. Mm-hmm.
We met last week, and we are trying to get their input so that Coda and I, and then after we get the first stage of development, we want to roll Jimmy Don Seibert and Fredonia in with us to have the most cohesive website that we can have. So county, City of Princeton, City of Fredonia, and Lake Barkley Partnership kind of working in tandem to kind of make a package that's attractive to not only visitors or people moving in as far as information, but also people that are out, executives for industry and people that we want to create a message for Princeton and Caldwell County, a positive one, to show the benefits and the highlights of why you should locate your industry or your business here and what we have to offer. And I think that's an area that when you talk about why kind of my goals, that's a huge one for me. It's kind of building that presentation to the internet, to the world, about what Princeton and Caldwell County is, what it means, what it's like to raise a child here, our access points. So having a cohesive message between all our government entities in the county as well as our economic development people is, I think it's going to provide a great message.
And see, I love to hear you say that because I am in the digital world, and when I go to look for information, because I am not as familiar as I want to be with the area, my first go-to is to go online and see what I can find. And I never can find a website. Like, I can't find a website for City Hall. I can't find a website for the road commission. You know, it's all directs me to some generic thing that doesn't give me the information I'm wanting. So I'm glad to hear we're going to.
Yeah, we're really hoping that this is going to have about every information you can find. You know, click on city government, county government, Fredonia government, and then you'll be able to click on the different departments, see what time they're open, see what we offer. Just, you know, housing, for example. We're trying to get housing. You know, we need to develop a housing, you know, in Caldwell County. Just anything to help this county sell this community.
Who would be working on that? Would that be under your jurisdiction?
Well, Jeff is going to be our guru as far as putting
for housing. No, I meant for housing.
No, I'm talking about just your policies. You know, you know, developing housing developers. You know, we need a need for developing houses here. So just anything of that nature, especially economic development. Try to sell our community.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
But like right now on the Facebook page, just for everybody's information, after today, all the county departments will be listed, their location and their phone numbers on our Facebook page, and it's tagged at the top of the Facebook page to tell you what section it's in. And then also all the holiday schedule for the entire year is already on there. So no more walking up to the courthouse and thinking, oh, I got to go pay my taxes, and the door's shut and locked. Mm-hmm. So we're trying to get that information out. We're going to work closely with you guys to help publish that information. I heard you do the ad for the Martin Luther King holiday on Monday. Greatly appreciate that. So, you know, you all are a real positive key to that transparency as well. And hopefully with Larry and I and Lori's ability and Elbert or whoever would like to from the county government to post to that website, we can have that feed to you all, and, you know, that reciprocation can take place where we know exactly what's going on with pertinent road closures. You know, you all were great about sharing the 139 closure and help communicate that last week. And that's the kind of stuff that we want to increase transparency of government by letting the citizens that are affected, the industries, you know, we talked to them. We alerted all three of our big industries out here on 62 West that if they have any logistics, transportation coming from Nashville, they might want to do an alternate route. Also, their employees that would be impacted. And, you know, that's a great way to build a relationship with your industry that you have, but also an industry that you might attract. So,
and I will say one thing that counties are always struggling with: they want to attract industry in here. You know, we need it's easier to keep the industry you have than attract industries. You know, anything we can do to keep these people around, we need to do. And also small businesses. We forget about our small businesses. They make up over 90% of the businesses in this country, employ 50% of the people in this country. So everybody's always looking to get the big hit, the big factory to come in. You know, we need to think about the people we have and our small businesses. Don't forget about them.
Right. I have a question for you, Albert, in just a minute, but I do need to take a break, and we will be right back, okay?
Come into Lowe's for everything you need to bring your home into 2019. Give your bathroom a quick refresh with deals on select toilets, like the Project Source High-Efficiency WaterSense toilet, just $88. It offers top-rated jet flushing and a high-quality finish. Then get your entire home organized with up to 25% off select storage and organization products, including the 66-quart hefty clear storage tote for $848. All projects have a starting point. Start with Lowe's. Offers valid through 1/31 while supplies last. U.S. only.
Hey, Amy, did you know the Honda Dream Deal sales event is literally happening right now, where you can literally get great deals on certified pre-owned Hondas?
Literally? I don't trust that word anymore ever since my coworker Jerry told me he could literally eat 1,000 burritos.
Well, that's literally impossible, but there is literally a Honda Dream Deal sales event happening right now. And Honda is KBB.com's 2018 best value brand. Seriously.
Now's the time to get a great deal on a certified pre-owned Honda at your local Honda dealer.
Based on 2018 brand image awards from Kelley Blue Book, visit kbb.com for information.
Here's your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast.
Look for mostly cloudy skies today. A high is going to be around 38. Mostly cloudy overnight with an overnight low around 34. Mostly cloudy tomorrow, high of 49 tomorrow. 50% chance of rain moves into the forecast tomorrow night with an overnight low around 41. Rain is likely to continue on Thursday with a high of 52. And Thursday night, more rain with a low around 36. Mostly cloudy again today with a high of 38.
Your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast is brought to you by Wallace Towing.
Have you received superior customer service? Is there a local business that makes your life easier? Then nominate them for Best of Western Kentucky. Nominations underway now. Go to the bottom of our homepage at WPKYonline.com.
1580, 103.3 WPKY. We're sitting here talking to District 4 Magistrate, Jeff Sims, District 1 Magistrate, Albert Bennett, and our Judge Executive, Larry Curling, this morning. I sure do appreciate y'all coming in this morning. Thank you so much for joining us. I do have a question for Mr. Bennett. So you've been doing this for 15 years. I mistakenly said 5 a minute ago, and you all corrected me during the break. 15 years, and now we've got some fresh eyes coming in his first year, and he wants to, upgrade to more digital world that you're not used to. How do you feel about that? What's that? How do you see yourself transitioning to that?
It's all coming to that. Across the state, as you mentioned, Jeff is his first term a magistrate. There's 243, I think, new magistrates and commissioners across the state, and we have discussed this at the Kentucky Association of Counties and also at the magistrates headquarters about training these younger people coming in. We don't want them to think that they're going to blow everything out of the water right off the bat. And there is a lot of technology, a lot of change has been made through and it's all through the legislative process. And we've got to stay up on that. It has really changed a lot. The longer I serve, the more I learn, the more I find out that I didn't know about county government.
So you see it as a positive, or you?
Yes,
okay,
very much so.
Okay, all right. And were you ready for it?
Yes.
Okay, good.
And I will say a vision that I see for Caldwell County is the USDA just announced a $600 million grant and loans to these rural communities to upgrade internet service to all these local farmers and small communities. If you can combine that grant with what I call House Bill 114, the TVA bill, we're going to get $50,000 this year, $100,000 next year, and $150,000 every year after that. So if you can combine that with the grant and also the internet service that Kentucky, what they're building is an internet service coming through Caldwell County. So we combine all three of those things. I'm hoping we can upgrade the internet service to everybody in Caldwell County.
Excellent. You were talking about fiber, correct?
Yes.
Kentucky Connect is, I think, what that's called.
Okay.
Last week when I was in Washington, I was asked after our final meeting, said, what did you gain out of this? And I guess one of the biggest things is how the National Association of Counties works with the states, like the Kentucky Association of Counties work with the counties. And also, they were more pushing for the rural American than what they were the urban area. I was really shocked on that. And it was mentioned to me, said, well, we have just kind of backed away from the urban areas because they have got money, and we know that the rural areas is where the money needs to be. And I was very appreciative of that. And a lot of talk was on agriculture, and which that makes up the biggest part of our West Kentucky and our area, which I guess the farming is probably one of the biggest employers we have in our county.
And you can see that with this grant that the USDA just put out. $600 million is quite a bit of money.
Right. Now, Larry, you said there was something you wanted to discuss. Was that?
I just want to talk about our courthouse and just talk about our hours are 8 to 4 Monday through Friday. And on that main floor when you come in, you see the county clerk, and of course that's Tony Watson. She has about 6 people working there. And of course what they do, they keep the various legal records and also register voters, and that's where you register your vehicle. Also, you see the PVA office, Ronald Wood, and he's got a couple of people working there. That's on that main floor, and of course they're in charge of assessing land. And also you see Stan Hudson, he's the sheriff, and he has about 8 deputies and I think about 3 clerks. Of course, they collect taxes and also law enforcement. Also, my office is in there. Lori Dunning, she's my administrative assistant. She's got a tough job putting up with me. And then also you see on that occupational taxes, and that's Janie Kirk. Now down in that downstairs, we have our county attorney. That's Roy Manson. He's got 2 or 3 employees down there, and 90% of his job is prosecution. And also you have Glenda Harper. She's our treasurer down there, and Tammy Brazier, our financial officer. Across the street, you've got the jail. John Pettit is our jailer. He's got 18 employees. And I will say our jail is, we're going to have to find another answer for this drug epidemic. It's getting overcrowded, and it doesn't do any good. Next to that, we got our fire station. Brent Francis is our fire chief. Brent Thompson, assistant chief. We got several volunteers. And our volunteer firemen. How many people want to get up at 2 o'clock in the morning, put out a fire? The community owes them a big thank you. We also have the annex, and that's Danny Hooks. Our animal shelter out on Baker Hill Road. It is open 10 to 4 Monday through Friday, closed on Wednesday, and on Saturday open 10 to 2. And I just mentioned the recycling a while ago. And our road department out on Sandlink Road. They do a good job.
So what is the difference in the road department and the magistrate's job? Tell me the difference there. What's the...
They work together. Whenever they get a call about a problem, they'll get hold of our road supervisor, Wendell Elaine, and he'll take care of the problem. It's pretty simple. And like I said, 90% of their calls are going to be road-related, potholes, you know. But they do vote on our roads we're going to take care of. They have a vote.
Okay. I do want to thank Larry and all the other judges that I've served under for allowing us to contact our road supervisor one-on-one instead of going through the county judge. Really, we're supposed to contact the judge, and then the judge is to contact a road supervisor. But I'm very appreciative of that. And most of the counties across the state are just like us. It's so much easier for us to contact the road supervisor and let him know the problem.
That makes it a whole lot easier. Besides them calling me and me calling them, it just didn't work out that way.
Right.
And
right.
I do also, I know they're talking about some maybe some rough weather coming in, and all of these farmers that helps clean the roads. I do appreciate them, and I know we have several that jump in and don't mind doing it, and we do. I really appreciate those in my area and all over the county that helps with that.
Yeah, our farmers they help in that situation a lot.
They
really
just
good.
get their tractors out and go plow the roads?
Yes.
I had a neighbor that did that. I live out in the county as well.
And we do have bad weather in, but we got plenty of salt, so they'll be ready.
So we're ready.
Also, just on what Larry was commenting on downstairs is also the child support office.
Yes, child support, correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's a plethora of things going on over there.
I think that Larry mentioned the fire department. I've got to put a plug in for the Fredonia Fire Department. We've got a super small fire department there, and they help so many times. They're on standby a lot of times, and we're lucky to have those dedicated people at Fredonia. We've got some top of the line equipment just like they have here in Princeton at the county. So on that end of the county, we are covered, and it makes it nice. And I appreciate those people there in Fredonia that the first responder that's right there on the job.
I do want to mention the mayor of Fredonia, Jimmy Don Seibert. He's been working close with Dakota and I, and that's worked out really good.
Okay, good. You mentioned the animal shelter earlier, and I'm glad you brought that up because you reminded me I need to ask you about that. So when we get done here, I'm going to ask you a question off the air. So they just got a new director. Mm-hmm. I spoke with her yesterday, Irene. Mm-hmm. And when did she start?
She started last week. Last Thursday. Thursday was her first day.
Okay, I'm hoping.
And our hours have changed too. We are open on Saturday now because that was kind of something I heard when I went out knocking on doors.
Gotcha. Okay. And but you are ultimately in charge of the animal shelter.
I am.
Okay. All right. See, that's something I just learned recently. I did not know that. So you are in charge of hiring, and I believe you approached Irene to take the position when it came
Yes,
open?
One thing I found is our animal control officer you know, in most counties, the animal control officer does not run the animal shelter.
And that was Tom Pettit.
Yes,
That's Tom Pettit, correct.
they just don't. It's kind of like the sheriff does not run the jail. They're in charge of, you know, getting the animals, taking them to the shelter. And we needed help at the recycling. So in his spare time, he's helping at recycling.
Okay.
You know, recycling is really taking off. It's just, you know, I was out there the other day talking to the guys, and a 5-minute conversation ended up being about 45 minutes because they were always having to get up and leave and unload these people coming in. It's just taking off.
Yeah.
We need help there.
And Lynn was talking about, you know, there's some growth that he's
it's great,
to,
you know, people are recycling. Of course, that means we're not filling up our landfills like we used to.
Right.
But we have, it has really taken off the last couple of years. And I've said that several times, but it really has.
Yeah. And again, Lynn did mention that yesterday as well. So
they stay busy. They stay busy.
Guys, we are really out of time here. Is there anything else you need to add before we wrap this up?
I do want to say, you know, on recycle, I don't know if Lynn mentioned our next grant. We got a grant we're going to work on, looking at maybe getting a shredder. I think that'll help the community, the way it works out or not. But that's right now, that's what we're looking for.
Okay, so you're trying for a grant to get a shredder to the recycling.
We're going to apply for as many grants as we can find.
Gotcha.
But I will say the grants are decreasing every year because the state has less money.
We're lucky to have a friend in Frankfurt that's really been great about helping us on grants. And I mean, she is top of the line, and a close friend of mine, and a close friend of several in the courthouse, and she's always willing to help.
All right. Okay, Jeff Sims, Albert Bennett, Larry Curling, thank you guys so much for coming in this morning.
Thanks
I
for
appreciate
having
your
us.
time.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you, ma'am.
Very
Appreciate
much. I appreciate it. All right, so that is our fiscal court information here. Thank you guys for coming in. Stay tuned. We're going to talk to the United Way about an event they've got coming up this Thursday.
Come into Lowe's for everything you need to bring your home into 2019. Give your bathroom a quick refresh with deals on select toilets, like the Project Source High Efficiency Water Sense Toilet, just $88. It offers top-rated jet flushing and a high-quality finish. Then get your entire home organized with up to 25% off select storage and organization products, including the 66-quart hefty clear storage tote for $848. All projects have a starting point. Start with Lowe's. Offers valid through 1/31 while supplies last. U.S. only.
Hey, Amy, did you know the Honda Dream Deal sales event is literally happening right now, where you can literally get great deals on certified pre-owned Hondas?
Literally? I don't trust that word anymore ever since my coworker Jerry told me he could literally eat 1,000 burritos.
Well, that's literally impossible, but there is literally a Honda Dream Deal sales event happening right now. And Honda is KBB.com's 2018 best value brand. Seriously.
Now's the time to get a great deal on a certified pre-owned Honda at your local Honda dealer.
Based on 2018 brand image awards from Kelley Blue Book, visit kbb.com for information.
Here's your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast.
Look for mostly cloudy skies today. A high is going to be around 38. Mostly cloudy overnight with an overnight low around 30.